Yeah, I don't know about all you all, but it's just getting like, you feel it building up, like it just keeps coming and just keeps coming and just keeps coming. And we all know that God only gives us what we can handle, right? Amen. I think at the end of the day, we can see how much good we can handle in our lives and how much good positive influence we can have come into our lives. And our next speaker is that good and that positive, you hear me starting to get choked up? That positive influence in my life. Anybody notice? Look, no notes. Because everything that I have to say about our next speaker, it all comes right from here. And the wish that I have for all of you is that all of you can just take like an ounce of the wisdom and an ounce of the goodness and I want to give you 2 ounces of the love that our next speaker is going to show and going to give to all of you. So I want all of you to meet my friend, Lisa Copeland.
For you to sit at the table, for you to be fierce, to 365 days a year, you only need to care about what your people think about you, your tribe, your people, your family, your inner circle, because haters are going to hate.
How many times has fear stopped you from what you believe was your destiny? Fear, 9 times out of 10, is false evidence appearing real. How many times are we afraid of something that doesn't even exist?
This woman is so accomplished and so fierce and so fabulous. She was recently named one of the top 100 women in automotive by Automotive News.
Hi, I'm Lisa Copeland. I've spent the last 30 years building movements, building brands, building sales teams. You see, I believe in crushing world sales records.
She just finished inking her 2nd book called Crushing Mediocrity.
It's okay to be mediocre if you want to be in the middle class. But if you want to be in the world class, you have to absolutely crush it. And the bigger you get and the bigger you build your movement or you build your business or you build your career, the haters, boy, they're at the bottom all the time. They're trolling. There's a reason that they're trollers, though. They don't have the heart and the passion to do what you do, and they're not willing to pay the price. So it's really easy to sit in the cheap seats and criticize success. But you see, I really...
Thank you.
Cornerstone Church, my sister in love, right?
Yes. Yes.
Lisa Copeland.
Hello, good morning. I've got to go get my clicker, so hold on. Well, first and foremost, congratulations to you for being here today, right? There's other things that you could have done today than come to a church and learn about your business. But what would have been better for you than to be right where you're at today? And what I fundamentally believe is you're here because you're supposed to be here. And I want to make a proclamation today on this stage, and I will tell y'all, I speak all over the world and I speak on big stages, and this one had me scared. To be in a church of this magnitude, and I've been back visiting with Pastor Galen, and oh my God, the vision for this church. How many times have you gone to a church to learn how to do business? How many times have you gone to a church to learn how to make money? They usually have their hand out for money, don't they? You watching, Pastor Galen? I know you're back there, right? And that is because that is a commitment. But I want to say it right here on this stage, and I didn't know exactly when I was going to say it, but I'm going to proclaim it here today. My dear friend, Glenn Lundy, was born for this. Grow your business for God's sake is a movement. And I am proclaiming that on the stage of this church today. Now, I am just a friend, just like Brian Benstock, just like Sharon Lecter, just like Shaka Dyson, just like Danelle Delgado, just like Frank Lopes, just like Steve Brewster. We're just friends. We showed up. We showed up to support our friend who answered the call. And his call is to support business, to support Christian leaders, because there is a myth in the Christian world, and I know that, is that It's not okay to talk about money. It's not okay to talk about sex. It's not okay to talk about anything. We're just supposed to talk about Jesus. Right? But Jesus wants us to pay our bills. Jesus wants us to be wealthy. Jesus wants us to make money. He wants us to be successful. Because the more successful we are, what are we going to do with the money? We're going to build the church. We're going to build the businesses. We're going to build the communities. Grow your business for God's sake. When you're blessed, the community's blessed. The church is blessed. So I want every one of you to stand up before we get started, and I want to make a proclamation. I want to do it from the stage. Glenn Lundy, where are you? He didn't know I was going to do this, and I honestly didn't know I was going to do it either. I'm backstage, and I'm like, God, just stick it in my head. Lundy. Seriously? Where is that boy? Okay, we'll just do it without him. Let's stand today and make a proclamation that this is the first day. The first day, actually the second day. Here he is. Really? You were not in the audience when I was speaking?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's so busted.
I can't tell you why I wasn't, because it would ruin why I wasn't.
Oh, okay, I
For
understand.
after you're done talking.
Okay. It's actually that big paycheck you're going to give me, right? All the speakers that came today?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so I've got the church standing. I've got the community standing. And it was put in my spirit that when we came out here today, that we would proclaim today, the first day, I'm going to cry, for Grow Your Business, for God's sake, that we're starting the movement. The movement has been started. Every single one of you are an inaugural member of the movement. And this is our leader. What are we going to do to support that? You're too much. And the other thing I will tell you, my friend, and I told you this a long time ago, that I believe to my very soul that you were born for this. This is why you were put on planet Earth, on top of producing beautiful children. that little Oakland Lundy, when they handed her to me yesterday, they were like, oh no, nobody gets to hold her. I don't even get to hold her. I go, I do, and she's obsessed with me, just like my...
Thank you.
All right, so the movement has started. So now, enough of that. And every one of you are a member of the inaugural movement. So I'll make sure that Glenn's people get your membership card sent out to you. All right, now it's time to get down to business, because now we're all family, right? We're all a part of the same movement. I will tell you this, it's hard to start a movement. It's even harder to follow Shaka Dyson. I'm like, who did the speaker line up here? Who wants to follow Shaka Dyson? Not me. I see you, Shaka Dyson, walking down there. Anyways, but fear is the number one thing that stops us from being all we can be. And you think about what we hear all the time. Fear less, fear not. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Face everything and rise. It's super easy to say until something happens, until you lose the job, until there's a diagnosis, until something happens in your family, your marriage, your children, your life, your business, and now all of a sudden, you're afraid. How many people in this room sometimes are afraid to be afraid because you don't want to tell other people? Hands? How many people in this room, when you're afraid, you think, what am I going to do? The tumor is real. I don't have any money in my bank account. I've lost my job. I've lost my spouse. My kids have gone crazy. They're on drugs. Whatever it may be. And people are telling you, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not. It's not okay, and it's not okay in your world. So I wanna give everybody permission today that if you cannot beat fear, you're gonna commit to do it scared. You've gotta do it scared, because if you don't do it scared, you won't do it at all. Paralyzation is the number one reason, and fear is the number one reason that we are not doing everything that we should be doing today. Because fear is what paralyzes us and keeps us from moving forward. But we play this whole loop in our head. I'm strong. I'm going to be fearless. No, you're going to do it scared. And I was laughing so hard last night. Brian Benstock's a very dear friend of mine. And I was laughing watching that last video last night. Who was tired last night? I was like ready to go to sleep. I got up at 3 a.m. yesterday morning to head this way to celebrate my dear friend and to be able to proclaim on stage that he was born for this. I don't know where this goes from here, but I know it's going somewhere. And I know my friend was born for it, and I know that it's going to go global, and I know that this is going to be the movement and the revolution that the church needs to revitalize the business community. I mean, come on, y'all. Someone's got to pay for this building. All right? It's real. It's real. So, we're watching that A.L. Williams video last night. Remember it? Oh, God, that guy. So many people tried to recruit me to that deal, just for the record, back in the day. And the whole time A.L. Williams is going, the guy, do this, and he's going, just do it, just do it, just do it. And the whole time I'm thinking, dude, you're a billionaire. You're sitting there at your company convention of people that are struggling to get along, and your only empathy is just do it. Because if you don't just do it, you're a coward. If you don't just do it, you're a loser. Super easy for him to sit up there and say, isn't it? With all his money and his success. If it was me and I was him, the whole time I wanted to say last night, just do it scared. You tell the people in the audience, you do it, but it's okay to do it scared. We need to give people permission to do it scared because that releases the bondage that we have. If we're giving ourselves permission to say, I'm afraid. This is scary. This is out of my comfort zone. One of my very dear friends is here. One of my best friends in the world is here, and you're going to hear her speak a little bit later, Sharon Lecter. Anybody read Rich Dad, Poor Dad back in the day? Yeah. She sold 30 million something books. I don't even know. Whatever. Like, after I sold 300 of my last book, I'm like, yeah, I'm on the road to Sharon Lecter. I'm only about 12 zeros light. But that being said, and I'm not going to steal her thunder because if she was not able to make it today, I was going to speak on this. But the book that she edited and annotated, asked by the Napoleon Hill Foundation, a book that changed my life, and those of you who know me and follow my show, you know I spent a lot of time on it, Outwitting the Devil. Anybody? Yeah. Outwitting the Devil. Now, I could say Outwitting the Devil in a church, but just know this, y'all, he's alive and well. And he's out there to corrupt, destroy, and take away all your hopes and dreams and absolutely put the fear in you so that you're paralyzed, so that when you leave this conference, you're going to be like, I am so pumped up. I'm going to go out and I'm going to double my income and I'm going to do all the things that they told me to do. And then you're going to go and you're going to go back to work. You're going to go back to your cubicle. You're going to go back to your neighborhood. And your neighbor, your coworker, or your boss is going to go, oh, you went to one of those conferences. Yeah. Oh, and it was at a church. How irreverent is that? Oh, it's going to happen. Y'all, I mean, I had people reaching out to me telling me I was a bad person because I was involved in a business conference talking about money in a church. Yeah. Defriend, block. I think that Danelle and Glenn call it sorting. Right? Just sorting. You're not my people. You don't know me. You don't judge me. But this is going to happen to you, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you how the book ends. When I first got saved, which was 22 years ago, there was a woman named Linda Giebelhaus, and I needed help. I was doing very well in business. My personal life was kind of falling apart, and I had young kids, and my husband and I weren't getting along, and all the above. And I used to be a mortgage banker. And I used to call on her. She owned a real estate office. And I used to wear her out because I wanted to do her mortgages really, really bad. But she saw something in me that she knew that I didn't need to be her mortgage banker, but I needed to be saved. And that was who I would call my spiritual mom. And today, she's passed away. But the thing that she taught me was, number one, everybody needs a mentor. And just because somebody's in your life today, they may not be here for the reason that you think that they're here for. You're gonna make connections today that I hope stay with you forever. The majority of the people that are here on this stage, we all met at things like this. But going back to outwitting the devil, the thing that really struck me in the book and in the story, right? So the conversation is between Napoleon Hill and the proverbial devil. Now, I believe it was the real devil, and it'd be interesting to hear what Sharon says about it. Hopefully she'll speak about it when you come up. Is that the number one reason that people are not successful, they're bound in fear or whatever, is because they drift. Have you ever felt like in life you're drifting? And I think about when I met my spiritual mom and somebody who really took me under her wings, Linda Giebelhaus, I was drifting. I was so into my own power that I couldn't see what was going on in my life. The fact that, I wasn't getting along with my husband and my kids were running wild and all the above. So sometimes it takes somebody telling you the truth, but that is what I would call drifting. Anybody here feel like they've ever drifted in life? It's like, I'm going here, I'm going there, this looks good, that looks great, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever heard the saying, the 2% club? I'm convinced that it came from outwitting the devil. Because there's only 2% of the people that are really focused, laser focused, and know what they're going to do. So my hope and my prayer for you today would be, is that you find that focus, you find the one thing. Chasing shiny balls is never gonna make you rich. What is the one thing that you can do today in this conference that will change the trajectory of your life and your career? Write it down right now. What is the one thing you could do? What is the one contact you could make? What is the one commitment you could make? What is the one thing that if you were standing here that you would stand on this stage like what I did for Glenn Lundy and said, I declare, I proclaim today that this is gonna be a movement? What do you feel so strongly about that you can stand on this stage and say it? The one thing. Don't be a drifter. And if you guys have not read Outwitting the Devil, Sharon, do you have them on audiobook out there? Oh, forget reading the book. You know what? You actually ought to read the book, but you need to listen to the book. She hired 2 actors. One is Napoleon Hill and one is the devil. You'll never get that guy's voice out of your head, sitting in the church especially. So what is the one thing? What is the one thing that you are going to commit to do? Put yourself right now, close your eyes, put yourself on this stage, standing right here where I'm standing. And you are now speaking to everybody out there. And you say, I'm putting my sword in the sand right here. And this is the one thing that I proclaim. Because that is what you're gonna have to stand on when all of your friends, your coworkers, and your family say, oh, you went to one of those motivational conferences in a church. Wow, watch the judgment come. So anyways, if you can't beat fear, do it scared. Can you guys accept that? All right, just do it scared. Who cares? Oops. Okay, this clicker and I are not gonna be friends. All right, so a little bit, most of you, I know most of you, but just quickly, my journey is I'm a former car dealer. In 2011, I relaunched the Fiat brand back to the United States. My team was the #1 team in America, actually in the world. They broke the world sales record. And all of that was great, but you know, I think it was just the path of what I needed to do what I'm doing today. And that pink car, after my team broke the world sales record, the chairman of the board of Chrysler Corporation, FCA, Sergio Marchionne, he built me that car. And that is, it was all custom pink. Viper did the interior, the whole bit, and it was the Lisa Copeland edition, VIN number 001. The car sits today in a car museum in Las Vegas. And it was my trophy, right? But when we put our hopes and our worth in a pink trophy, no. I did for a while. I thought, this is great. Well, within 2 years, I mean, the Fiat brand goes, right? Anybody in the room drive a Fiat? Good. Yeah. I'm not in Texas, so I don't have to apologize for selling it to you. Anyways, so all of that being said, it's so easy to put our worth into the pink car, the pink trophy. That picture went around the world. Automotive News, the New York Times, the Italian Wall Street Journal, the whole bit. What is that car today to me? A stepping stone. How many of you have stepping stones in your life right now that you're idolizing, that define you? Anybody? A couple? Okay. That car will never define me. So when I sold the dealership, I sent the car to the car museum. I don't need it anymore. That was then and this is now. And I know unequivocally now what I'm supposed to be doing. So today what we're going to talk about is how to face your fears head on. How to overcome obstacles that get in your way, and how to grow your business for God's sake. I like you already. You're kind of the guy that claps at everything. So you and I are buddies, you got it. All right, so the key takeaways for today is number one, take a picture of this slide, because these are the 4 things that I'm going to task you with from the stage. Number one is I want you to dare to start thinking bigger about your life and your goals. Dare to do it, because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to. Your boss isn't going to do it. Your boss is not going to call you in and say, hey, I had this revelation, and I really want you to be more successful. I really want you to start your own company. If you don't do it for you, it's not going to happen. Number 2, and this is a big thing that holds people back, and I've struggled with it. Everyone I know has struggled with it, is that you've got to learn how to seek out honest feedback to accomplish big things. Okay, is this my guy down here again? Yeah, I love you. Okay, so none of us really want to hear the truth. How many times have you asked a friend, hey, what'd you think about that? Do you really want to know? Unless they say, oh, it's great? Yeah, I think about my dear friend Sharon Lecter and Glenn Lundy, and sometimes when I call them on some of the projects I'm working on, they're like, yeah, you want the truth or do you want to hear what you want to hear? Usually I only have 5 minutes on this call, so probably just what I want to hear right now. I'm brilliant, aren't I? Just ask me. But really, to go to the next level is that you've got to be able to accept wise counsel. Who is your wise counsel? But more importantly, you have to be able to discern wise counsel, because everybody in the world is going to give you an opinion. And I can't say the analogy in a church, but we know what opinions are like sometimes, right? So you've got to be discerning in everybody coming at you and telling you their opinions. Okay, we'll talk about tribe in a little bit. You have to embrace the core beliefs you need to overcome different types of fear. We'll go through that in a second. And then you've got to discover why our magical idea of balance is overrated. Let go of the guilt once and for all. Anybody in this room think they can have it all? I'm going to say yes, but what I'm going to say is not all at once. And this was funny because these slides were already built before I saw Brian's slides last night, but it's fine to be scared. Do it scared. It's fine to be undecided. Do it undecided. It's fine to be uncomfortable. Do it uncomfortable. Just do it scared. Bottom line is just do it. Do I sound like a Nike commercial? Do you know that Nike came up with the whole Just Do It campaign? It wasn't to sell shoes. The Just Do It campaign was to put into people's heads about forward motion. Just do it, just do it, just do it. And how many times all we think about when we're basking in fear or when we're trying to make a decision is to just do it. And then when it's time to buy tennis shoes, what do you think about? Nike. They built a movement. They built a movement on forward action, and they built a movement on getting inside your head. Just do it. How many times has fear stopped you from doing something that you look back now and you wish you would have done it, but you were paralyzed, you were fearful. You feared failure. You feared embarrassment. You feared that you couldn't recover. You feared that people would judge you. Do you not think that my friend Glenn Lundy feared when he called us and said, I've been called to do this. I'm going to do a business conference in churches for God's sake. Glenn, I know you're out there somewhere. Did you get any blowback on that by anybody? You're still what? That's okay though. But you know what? All those arrows and bullets in your back, you just got to buy a nice jacket and put them on, and then nobody will see them, and you're all the better for it. So don't fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. That is a verse that has taken me through my darkest days. I have failed way more than I have succeeded. But as a speaker and an author and a consultant, when I'm going out and I'm talking to Fortune 5 companies or automakers, I certainly don't go into a meeting and go, let me show you everything I screwed up and failed at. No, I show them a picture of the pink Fiat. I'm like, hey, see this? Hire me. All right? But it's so easy. If I were to sit and think about all the times that I failed in life and in business, I wouldn't be standing up here today because I wouldn't believe that I was worthy, and I still don't even know that I'm worthy to do it. But I'm doing it scared. Because there's gonna be people out there that love me, like me, hate me, don't believe me. I know that. That's a lot of pressure. When you're standing on stage, when you're standing anywhere, when you're just sitting there talking to the man or woman that you're trying to close the deal with. Have you all ever tried to close a deal sitting in front of a decision maker, and the decision maker, you're like, God, they hate me, I can just tell. Yeah, it paralyzes you, right? Satan's a liar, fear's a liar. Thank you, Bill. Absolutely. But guess what? If Satan's alive and well, read Outwitting the Devil. He's alive and well. And if there was no Satan, who needs a church? Right? So our goal of all of this is to give you the coping mechanisms inside of you and not sit here and just fill you guys up with a bunch of rah, 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 oh, fear less, fear not, unapologetically fierce. And oh, by the way, anybody who know me, those have been my keynotes the last 3 years to big corporate audiences. And then it hit me one day. I owe every one of those companies their money back. It wasn't fair what I set these people up for. I am better to have told those people, fear is alive, fear is real, do it scared. So let's jump into the Bible for a second. This will be officially the first time I've ever preached on a church stage. I hope my pastors are watching. Doing it scared right now for sure. God actually commands us not to fear or worry. The phrase fear not is used at least 80 times in the Bible. So I'm going to tell you about fear not. When I sold my dealership, had a pretty high profile gig, and I went to speak to a friend of mine before the deal was done because I was just going, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, blah, blah, blah. And she said to me, she had prayed before I came because she knew I was coming to seek counsel. And she said, Lisa, God has a word for you, and it's to fear not. And I'm like, did he tell you that? Like audible? Are you just feeling it? And please, could you have him tell me? And she said, I am here to tell you to fear not. So do you guys know what I did? And those of you who know me know this is true. I went home, and in Texas, you can order personalized license plates without even having a car. So I went home that night and I ordered the license plate. It's purple and it said, fear not. Now I didn't even have a car to put it on yet, but I did feel like it was a supernatural download from God because he certainly hadn't told me that. But I did feel like she was trusted counsel. So I got home that night. There could have been a glass of wine or two involved. But when you're at church, you just put some bread out and you call it communion. Yeah. So I order the plate. I make the decision 30 days later to sell the store. Because I'm like, I have 8, but let me back up. So I'd gone to the tax office to go pick up the plate because the plate was ready. You know, the prison system makes them in Texas. It's awesome. And so I go pick up the plate 30 days later, and the tax assessor says, okay, well, can we have the car registration? I'm like, well, I own 800 cars, but I don't have a personal car. And she's like, okay, this is weird. And I'm like, I know, I get it, but I'm supposed to do it. So in Texas, the personalized plates are good for 2 years. How many of you guys I know Megan, where's Megan? I know Megan has seen my plate on my car, and Sharon and whatever, yes. I drove with fear not on my car for 2 years. Because that was the one thing I needed to hear and I needed to do. And I needed to solidify it by getting that license plate. The plate was up a year ago. I'm like, I don't need it anymore. I'm not afraid. So now my new plate is her way, right? But I had to step through the fear. I had to put it on my license plate. See, all of us have to do things a different way. Every every single day I would drive around and I would see it. And I would go out to my car and I'm like, I'm not afraid. I'm going to do it scared. But I really hadn't come to that realization yet, because I was still out speaking and talking to companies and doing shows and stuff, talking about fearless. You need to be unapologetically fierce. Really? How many people were really how many people in this room are unapologetically fierce? Right. How many people do it scared every single day? Yeah. So, how are you going to double your income? Wow. Who in this room wants to double their income? How is there a better place in the world to put that ask into the universe than a church? Amen. Right? What's your name? Jesse. I like you, Jesse. You need to stay on the front row every time I come speak, darling. You got it, okay. Super fan right here, Jesse, I love him. But what better place is there to make that ask? Because you're not going to do it with the skill set you currently have. Shaka says it. What's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if we leave here and we do the same things that we did before we came here, you're not doubling your income. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I was very, very convicted of that last night. Because I'm going to tell y'all, I flew in on Southwest. I need to probably quadruple 10 times my income because I'm buying a jet. This flying on Southwest is for the birds. Seriously, I hate it. And my best friend is a jet broker, so there you have it. All right, so you love me, don't you, Jesse? Yes. So our running joke is that I have my G5 on layaway. All right, so we're going to leave here. We're going to commit to thinking bigger. So number one, we're going to write down our vision. Number two, we're going to think about scalability because you're just one person. How are you going to take it and scale it? You have to commit to take over the world. Maybe not the world, but your world. Your world of business, your expertise, your industry. Take over your world. Become the authority, the leading expert in your business. Make it where they cannot do business without you. They can't be successful, that they need you more than you need them. That's how you 10x your income. I fire more clients nowadays than I work with. I'm like, yeah, I pretty much do not like you. But I work with car dealers, so that's probably not a hard thing to come up with, right? Yeah. You have to change your world mindset because nothing's going to happen until you decide it's going to happen. See, you're going to hear great, amazing speakers, crazy successful people. I mean, look at my friend Shaka Dyson. Look where he came from to where he is today, and he's only just begun. You look at my friend Glenn Lundy. A year from now, this is going to be a coliseum. We're going to be in some stadium somewhere having this conversation with 30, 40, 50,000 people. It'll be live streamed around the world. But it started right here, and every single one of you were part of the seed. Do you not think that that's going to bless you? Do you not think that God's going to bless your business just based on that? Come on, people. And then you've got to 10x everything. And no, I didn't steal this from Grant Cardone, but it does work, right? I like the 10x thing, but he claims that he owns it, whatever. He's probably trademarked it and I'm gonna get sued. But you know what? He needs to do that one scared, right? All right, so what are 4 steps to receiving honest feedback? Because I'm gonna tell you this, I think that is the number one thing that keeps entrepreneurs low, that keeps entrepreneurs unsuccessful, that keep people unsuccessful in general, is that we don't know how to receive honest feedback. You gotta play the long game. Life is about the long game. There's too many people out there, and they're like, I'm gonna start a company, and we need to make money in the first 90 days, and if we don't, I quit. And then I'm gonna go chase the next shiny ball for 90 days, and then 90 days after that, 90 days after that, and then guess what, at the end of the year, you're still broke. Your company is not going to the levels that it needs to go. Number 2, you have to listen up. So how do you actually build that trust? Again, you don't need feedback from every human on planet Earth. And let me just tell you, in the world of social media, everybody in planet Earth wants to give it to you. There is a block button out there, though. I will tell you all that. Be careful who you accept counsel from. I would never take counsel from somebody less successful than I am. I'm sorry. I play in the 2% club. I hang out with the 2% club. Why would I waste my time? Time is precious. And time is the only thing that levels every one of us in this room. I don't know how much money you have and you don't know how much I have. It doesn't matter. I may work harder than you and you may work harder than me. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, there's one thing in life that we have that's exactly the same. And that's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. How are you going to use your time and who are you going to spend it with? Stay away from the 98% that drift. They're not your people. Step 3, give and you shall receive. It's not, yeah, you're my, I'm going to bring you a book a little bit. Jesse, right? Yep, okay. Give and you shall receive. It isn't all about you. There's certain fundamental things that if you've got this tribe, if you've got this 2% in your world, and I'll tell you this, your 2% are different than my 2%. End of story. Because people have value to you that I don't know, so only you can determine your 2%ers. But put the other 98% on the shelf, right? They are a waste of time. And you only have 7 days and 24 hours a day. And God says we're supposed to rest on Sundays. Just saying. And number 4, you acknowledge and respond. Once you determine who that tribe is, all right, and you get that feedback and you give that feedback. Some of the toughest conversations I have with my friends is, I gave you some advice. I know you've thought about it for a few days. Where are you at? Because again, I don't think about other people. I didn't sit and think about this for Glenn Lundy and how we were going to help be successful and how we can bring people together. And, I'm going to introduce him to my dear friend Sharon Lecter because, she's got this global footprint and all this other stuff. If I didn't want him to be successful, I put a lot of time and effort thinking about how he is going to build the movement because he was born to do it. But if I told him everything I told him, and then he didn't take any action, I just wasted my time. Don't waste your time. Embrace your core beliefs. Growth should be encouraged, not feared. It is scary moving forward. It is scary, starting a new venture. It's scary. I'm telling you, I'm living through it right now. We're out raising money, and our next step will probably be a Series A raise. Like, wow, I have to go talk to Wall Street? Really? It's a little scary. But I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. I just go out and do what I do. And what I do is that I believe that what I do matters. But that's all I can do in the whole equation. I have to bring other people around me who are smarter than me to make the rest of it happen. So don't try to be, if you're an entrepreneur, do not try to be everything in your business. It doesn't exist. Find people that are smarter than you, that are experts, that can help you go to the next level. It doesn't mean they have to be your business partners, but surround yourself with the 2%. The 98% are a waste of time. 7 days, 24 hours a day. Why would you want to spend your time or your life with people that are not equally yoked? Yeah. You've got to do what you love and love what you do. So believe it or not, work is enjoyable. Who here loves their job? Good. There was a lot of hands that didn't go up, and maybe they didn't go up because you have a real job, and you're here because you want to go out on your own and you want to build your dream, and you're looking for that one download, that one thing that one person is going to say that's going to encourage you. And I think about my venture, and somebody said to me who's very wise and has known me for many years, and he said to me, he said, Lisa, nobody can do what you do, go for it. That's it, that's all I needed to hear. I heard stuff for years and whatever, and I didn't move forward on it. But that one person who I respect immensely said, nobody can do what you do, go for it. Oh, okay, I guess I will, and I did. I couldn't convince myself of that. So I spent 2.5 years doing everything else in my industry, but not doing what I really wanted to do because I didn't fundamentally believe that I was the only one that did what I did. And now I look back, I'm like, that was so dumb. I am the only one who does what I do. But sometimes somebody else needs to tell that to you. That's where the 2%ers come in. Because the 98%ers are always going to keep you down. The 98%ers are always going to, put doubt in your head. The 98%ers are going to say, like when people said to me, you can't compete with TrueCar, cars.com. You're right. You're right. Okay, let me just tell you all something. Everybody who has started any company that competes in your sector that you want to go up against, it was started by a mere mortal just like you. You can do anything you want to do. You have to decide. Diversity, not like-mindedness, bears fruit. I had a really bad habit for a really long time of hanging around with people that agreed with me. I liked them. I wasn't married to one of those, or I'm not married to one of those, so that's good. That's probably why I've been married 31 years. But don't hang around, thank you. Right, that in itself, I was 6, I'm kidding. But that in itself, diversity of thought, diversity of tribe, people that are willing to go up against you and tell you, I don't think so. Right? People that are wired differently than you. And, and I think one of my greatest examples is my friend Sharon Lecter over here. We like to laugh that I corrupt her when I come to town. Look at her. She's perfect, right? And then Lisa comes. So I'll leave it at that. Anyways, you need to be with people that are different than you. Okay? Diversity. Motivation comes from inspiration, not agony. How many of you feel like you're walking through a living hell right now? Like nothing seems to be working. You tried this, you went right, you went left, you did whatever. And you think, well, you know what? The struggle is real. And so the struggle is all part of being successful. Not really. Not really. Because when you're walking in your purpose, when you're walking in what you're supposed to do, there will be some things that come easy, I promise. I can't tell you what they are, but they're there. Because now that I'm truly doing what I know that I was called to do, doors are opening that would have never opened before. Are there days that they're agony? Absolutely. Did I tell you who my clients were? Car dealers. Lots of them. God, and they're probably all watching right now, and I'm going to have all these termination letters in my email. Right, Glenn? But that being said, the wins are bigger than the agony. Do something where the wins are bigger than the agony, and then you're walking in your purpose. But there's agony, do not get me wrong. But you have 24 hours and 7 days a week. Do you really want to walk through hell your living days? Especially because the day we were born, the day that you were going to die has been determined, and none of us know what that is. You've got to have joy in your life and in your business. Do not rob yourself of that because you're on this entrepreneurial thing and, I'm going to do whatever. So seriously, if it's that bad and you're not seeing any fruits of your labor, it may be time to pivot. The biggest lie you will tell yourself is that you can do it all. And there are 7 dimensions of life. There's family, your social community, your spiritual, your physical, your material, your avocational, and your career. Take a picture of that. How come, I got to disconnect here. AV? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I see this one's one ahead. God, y'all must have thought I was crazy. I'm sitting here talking about stuff that wasn't up there. So how can any single person do all 7 of these things great at one time? Can anybody in this room, please? Because then you should be on the stage. You can't. It's a lie. And we hold ourselves accountable to this. So I believe that you can do it all. You just can't do it all at once. So pick your lane.
Pick your lane. All right, so here's 7 hacks. Okay, I'm so trying to get this thing. Okay, here are 7 hacks as we wrap up to conquer your day. Okay, I really hate that it's down there. It's different than up here. So number 1, you want to wake up an hour earlier. How many of you guys wake up with Glenn at 5:30 in the morning? I don't. It's called a replay. But Glenn, I replay it every day, baby. Make a daily to-do list. Do your hardest tasks first. Knock them out. Get rid of the stuff you hate to do first. Exercise in the morning, because how many of you say, you know what, I didn't get to the gym this morning, but I'll do it tonight. Yeah, tonight never comes. Never comes for me. Focus on one thing at a time. Shut off the social media. Ladies, on a study I'm involved with in the automotive industry, 8 hours a day women are on Facebook. Yeah, turn it off. Unless, of course, you're buying something I'm selling. All right. And then start saying no. It's okay to say no. And ladies, we're the worst about it. We are the worst about it. Because unless you believe, it would have been really easy for me to say no to flying across the country. Our friend Brian Benstock flew out at like 5 o'clock this morning. Because you don't say no when you know that what you do matters. And we all knew fundamentally that this mattered. That we were going to support our friend starting a global movement. And it needs to be said out loud on the stage of a church, because if you can't say it here, it's never going to happen. So we all took time. We all answered the call. We said yes. But I can tell you this, there will be 10 other people who see me speak at this event, and they're going to go, hey, Lise, I got this deal. No. No, 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 no. I have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to do what I need to do in life. You pick the things that matter. You pick the things that are eternal. You pick the things that help people go to the next level. And you support the 2% that you love dearly. Like my dear friend Glenn Lundy, because he is here to change the world. Grow your business for God's sake. Will be a global movement. And you all were part of the inaugural. And I believe that God's going to bless your businesses and take every one of you to the next level because you didn't say no today. But I want to encourage you to say no. And I'm going to close with this. It is better to fail. Write this one down. You're not going to see a slide on it. It's better to fail than to live with regret. Fail forward. Go out there and chase your dream. It's okay to fail. But what's not okay is when you sit on your deathbed and you regret that you never tried. Thank you. There's my girl.
She fell asleep.
Oh.
Come sit down with me.
Okay.
I gotta grab a mic. Look at her.
She's so obsessed with me, it's not even funny.
Look at her. Oh, she's so cute. Lisa Copeland, that's some powerful stuff.
Thanks.
This was a new keynote for you, and I was in love with it.
Thank you.
Really, really, really good job.
Why, because it was all about you?
Maybe.
So easy to love it when you're talking about me.
Well, no, it was just really, really good. I love all the slides. I love all the information. I do have a question for you, though.
Okay.
Because you've built multiple businesses, had a lot of success with all of them.
Not all of them. The ones that I talk about.
Right? But I have a question for you. Say I'm like just getting started.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I'm transitioning maybe.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Where is Leslie Lundy?
She's not here.
Oh.
That's what I was doing when you called me up here, is I was making sure my wife didn't take the baby.
Oh, okay.
You want me to fix this? Or do you got her?
Here. No, I don't think anyone else can take her.
I got her.
I'm just afraid that she's going to knock off my microphone.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Oakland. Man. I've had her for 2 days, and Glenn's like, oh, you can't hold her, she'll cry. I'm like, no, she won't.
It's those dad skills right
But,
there.
of course, we had to do it on stage.
7 of them.
Yes.
Hi, girl. Okay, I just got started.
Yeah, you did. So
Like,
you were asking. Oh,
brand
yeah,
new
so just-
business.
Yes.
I need to know, like, okay, so I'm transitioning. I've been working for other people
Yeah.
for a really long time.
Yep.
I'm getting a regular paycheck.
Right.
I'm comfortable with that.
Paychecks are good, y'all. They're
Yeah,
good.
it's good. But now I need to transition. I know I'm made for more.
Yep.
I have a vision.
Yep.
What is step 1 and 2 to ensure? I know it's going to take a while. I know I got to build it. I know I'm not going to make any money at first.
Right.
So what do I do in step 1 and 2 to really get this thing going?
I'm anxious to see if my friend Sharon Lecter agrees with me. But number one, you better have some money in savings. You still got to pay your bills, right?
That's right.
And number two, I think you've got to write a business plan because, I ask people all the time. I asked Glenn. I said, can you make money at this? Do you have a business plan? Do you have a monetization plan? Because if you don't, it's not a business, it's a hobby. And that's
right.
okay. There are a lot of things out there that people try to make into a business. It's a hobby. Stick it in the hobby lane and keep your day job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I love that. Love
Yeah.
that. So true.
So true.
So true. And Lisa does say these things. When Lisa says she says these things, I want to let you know she says these things. Like,
I want to put that, hold on. I want to put that up there.
Yeah, no
Oh,
problem.
good grief.
It's up there. What's on there is up there.
No, it's not.
Well, it will be. Well, they probably turned off your thing
Oh,
already.
okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
because they're going to that.
Hold on one
there
second.
There it is. It's up there now.
Okay, so y'all, if you want to get on the whole Do It Scared, we've got a whole, I've got a little ebook coming out about it in the next week or two. Just text in Big Cell to 345-345, and we'll get that to you before it goes out to the public.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
When I talk to Lisa on the phone,
All
which
the time.
is
Daily?
often, a lot, like a lot. When
Lot.
we're both in cars a lot, driving, so we talk a lot.
And Lundy's always going through a drive-through. He's like, I'll have 12 cheeseburgers, 6 orders of fries, and apple juice.
Why
I'm like,
are you telling people my
this is
secrets?
dinner at the Lundy house. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I eat cheeseburgers, she drinks champagne, right?
Prosecco. Get it straight.
Prosecco, my
Yes.
bad. But when she's on the phone with me, she is very, very, very straightforward. She's always straight to the point. Hey, Lisa, I have an idea. Okay, great. How does it work? How are, the business plan side of things is straight where her mind goes. But one of the things that you said to me very early on when I did decide to leave my kind of comfortable position and move into what I'm doing now,
Yes.
one of the things that you first told me was never lower your value. Like, value yourself right out the gate.
Yeah.
So how important do you think that is as they're moving forward, knowing and understanding their value?
Yeah, so I think that there's two sides to your value. I think your value is, number one, what is it you're worth every year to bring home to your family, right? So what is your value? So, and then number two, don't lower your values. And it's super easy when you start a company or whatever, you start compromising. And compromise is the death of a company. And, it's super easy to, work with a vendor or a partner you don't like, and it's easy to cut corners. And, you wouldn't have done it at your day job, but you'll do it at your job, your new company, because fear sets in. It's like, oh, I have to take this deal, I have to take this client, I have to do this,
That's
this, and
right.
this, because I'm afraid I won't get another one. I think that's kind of.
And I had that a little bit in the beginning, and
You did.
Lisa was like, look, if they won't pay you what you're worth, they're
Yeah.
not your people anyway.
At all.
They're not your people, and not everyone's going to be your people.
That's it.
Like, you don't have to come up with a business that's going to serve 7 billion people. You have to come up with ideas, thoughts, and add value to the people that run with you, the people that believe in you, right? Right,
Yeah.
Ryan? Right? You guys,
Yeah, because,
marriage movement. You guys are going to attack the marriage. You're going to create a movement, right? You're already creating a movement, but your target is people that are married and maybe a little stuck and need a stronger marriage. You don't have to make single people happy, right? You don't have to do any of that.
Because you know what? They're not your people.
That's right. They're not. They're
right?
people.
Stick in your lane. You got to stay in your lane. And I tried for the first year when I left. I was going to be everything to everybody. Oh, it's exhausting and it's not profitable.
That's right.
Those are my two pieces of advice. What I do now, it's exhausting, but it's extremely lucrative.
Yeah. Well, Lisa, you've become one of my best friends
I love you.
on the planet.
I know.
And I am so thankful
I'm
that you are
thankful for
here.
you. And I'm thankful. Thank you for inviting me. And I know I can speak for all of your friends that showed up. to support you, that we are just so blessed and honored to be part of the movement, because you, my friend, are going to change the world, and you were born for this.
You're
Yep.
amazing.